stage when this is on, right?
Yeah, mute.
No, it's not muted at all.
We're live with Skywalker Boxing Media, Team Mo Boxing, no problem. We got Papi Chun Yayo in the house.
Yes, sir. You already know it's Papi Chun Yayo. Heavy on the Papi, light on the mayo. I mean, light on the yayo.
Salute. And we got a special guest, man, fresh off a first round knockout victory on ProBox in Maryland. We got Keith Tsunami Cologne, 5-0, all by knockout. What's up, my brother?
What's going on? Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you, my brother. Hey, exciting knockout yesterday. Another highlight reel to add to the books, man. How was it yesterday, man? How was that experience fighting on ProBox?
It was a great experience. Just blessed to be able to, do what I gotta do, get out the ring safely, healthy, and same for my opponent.
Dope. Hey, man. So, I mean, so have you learned any interesting facts about how productions work and how you would want to move forward going in the future by watching, what they do at ProBox?
To be honest, no, I wasn't really paying too much attention to that. I was just focused on the fight at hand, focused on what I gotta do. I don't really pay attention too much to things outside of my control.
Understood. Yeah, man. The reason why I was asking that is because, I kind of saw the Floyd Mayweather thing, how he kind of built his brand up and he built an event that was tailored around what he does. That's why I was asking that, just trying to see where your mind wasn't no right or wrong answer.
Nah, for sure.
Hey, man, shout out to your team, man. You're supposed to be fighting the week prior. The fight fell through, and you got on a card right away, man. Short notice. Yeah. And that card gets a lot of exposure, man. ProBox is one of those networks that's growing. It's becoming, a large network, man. Started off small, and there you can see the growth. You know what I mean? And you can see the world champs that's producing. Angelo Leo from Albuquerque, they gave him a shot, after he lost to Cool Boy Steph. And look at him now; he's the IBF featherweight world champion. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And, so how was that experience, man, fighting on ProBox compared to the other promotions that you fought on in the past? Like, what was the difference from last night?
The difference, I say, like you said, ProBox, they started off small, and they build it to be something good for the sport of boxing. But I feel like they're pretty organized as well. They got they team. Like a lot of behind the scenes people, shout out to them. They organize and they got everything under control. It's not messy or, where it's just organized. So it's easier for them and it's easier for the fighters as well. Like a lot of the little things, just not super late to the weigh-ins. Like all of those little things help fighters. Right. I appreciate it.
And did they tell you? I know that you put on a show, man. Like I'm talking about highlight reel knockout, first round, just destroyed his opponent. I know they had to see that, bro. You know what I'm saying? And did they say that they were going to have you back in the future?
Oh yeah, definitely. They was we in good communication with them. So they already was interested. That's the reason why I was able to fight this time. The second time fell through. The first time fell through, but they also wanted to have me on the card, so they made it happen the second time, which I'm grateful for. But yeah, like that fight, I just did what I was supposed to do. So like I don't really look at it as like anything crazy.
Right. Big opportunities will come from that, man. You know, you put in that hard work, people see it, man. They're gonna want more of you, bro. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing that you were able to accomplish what you accomplished yesterday on ProBox. So hats off to
Definitely.
you on that. And
What up, Tim?
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing?
All right,
What's up?
man. Hey, can we get a morale check, man? How you holding up, man? Is you
I'm great. You know, I'm the kind of person that is like you know, whatever happens, happens. I got plenty of things going on, so uh we know what happened. We know how a certain organization is. We can let them be how they want to be. What I want to know is why we got the Mo box and no problem sign right over your face. We can't.
man? Hey, listen, I'm
I
doing
got
my
you.
thing, man. I'm getting my gangster lean on. We good.
Yeah,
I see
man, I'll
that.
take it off. That's it. Yeah,
Yo, we can't even
I'll
see.
figure it out. Yeah, just busy with this interview.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
light
yeah,
on the mayo. You feel me? No.
he shined last night, Tim. You can check out we got an Instagram reel with Raheem Prose. Shout out to Prose, you know, showing love to Keith. Everybody, all my homies, Thomas, Cano Loco, everybody loves Keith, man. So everybody was hyped up.
Weren't you supposed to fight in Philly?
Yeah, I was supposed to fight last week in Philly.
Right. I was there. I was trying to catch up with you, and did you show up to the venue?
Nah, literally like an hour, 2 hours before the weigh-ins, I was told that the fight is off. So ain't no point in going after that. I was taking off from school Friday, so I still got stuff I had to handle.
Right.
Yeah, just like you, Tim, he had his fight. You cancel on him too right before it happened, and then like what 4 days? You had 4 days. You knew about 3 or 4 days, I guess. And then he got the opportunity with ProBox, and that could happen to you too, Tim. So you know, God works in mysterious ways, and you never know what kind of blessings come in disguises, man. You know, so
Sure. And not to take away from our interview or nothing, but it's really giving me the fire to actually, maybe start my own promotional company, and do things right by people, and you know, there's an idea that's being sparked out of this, and actually, people coming to me, and asking me what can they do. So who knows what might happen.
Hey, man, Tim, you see what we doing down here in Hampton and Newport News? You see what we doing? You know, we building the program up from scratch, man. Like we're following these guys. We're teaching them to do interviews and things like that, and we're sharing our brands and promoting amongst each other and making sure that everybody's supporting everybody. That's the role that we can do and do well. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I sit. And
I gotta, my manager's from Virginia, so we got a connection. It's going to be a little railroad if you would like to use that terminology.
yeah,
Linking us.
yeah.
And maybe and up in Newark too. I'm trying to keep my connections up there. I got a couple of connections. We got Pro Say and everything, so
Yes,
it'd be
sir.
a nice thing.
Man, Keith, so, again, man, just want to say once again, congratulations on the victory. We love watching you fight, man. We love watching you grow as a professional and things like that. How do you, let me ask this for people who may not know. Look, how do you deal with having an opponent that, you weren't prepared for and just having to do it last minute? Like, what's your mindset around tackling that issue?
Really just understanding that just being prepared for anything. That's the main thing. I go in there with an open mind. Going there thinking my opponent is just as dangerous as me. So yeah, that's just my mindset. Stay sharp, stay smart, stay poised, and execute.
Oh.
I was gonna ask, do you have another fight lined up right away? Because I know that you stay busy, man. Do you have something in the works?
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be fighting July 7th, so we got that coming up. Um, I look at this fight like if it was a stay busy fight. Last week it fell through, so this week we got signs just to stay busy and just keep the ball rolling.
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this, or you might know, but is there someone that's impersonating you? Uh, Somebody from celebrity boxing. Uh, I don't know if you heard this, but there was this guy that came to do a documentary with my dad, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go interview this kid called Keith Cologne. He's with celebrity boxing, but he's doing professional fighting. He's undefeated. He's blush, and he described you, but I know both of you guys, and the other guy's name is Cologne too. But I think that he might be trying to impersonate you so he can get some clout. This is what the first thought that came to my mind was.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, nah, I don't know nothing about
Don't know
that.
nothing about that. You might want to
If
keep
you
your
don't
ears
if you
open.
don't hear it come from like me exactly, if I don't say it, then don't even pay it no mind.
Hey, fam, listen, I'm with Tim on this one. If you got a doppelganger out there that's profiting off of your image or your likeness, you might want to get that joint patent. You feel me? So my wife's, wife's daughter, she's doing major numbers on IG. We talking about big numbers, and people are buying stuff from her. Bro, she got like 3 doppelgangers, people that just copied her profile. And they hit me up. I'm like, yo, you still in my stepdaughter's stuff? You got to see me. You know what I'm saying? You talking about. So you got to protect your image, bro.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, and this is the whole thing. Celebrity boxing is about persona, about and I know the kid. He's not a kid anyway. You're younger than him, and he just seems like somebody that is going to try to. So just keep your ears open, man. Just keep your ears open.
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I ain't seen nothing about it, so you
Right,
probably cut it a little early. So
for sure.
if he get pretty far with it, then
I
better
don't
check him
think
out.
I don't think this guy getting too far with it.
I was gonna ask, did you get a chance after the fight to watch the Boots fight?
Yeah, definitely. We actually went back to the casino just to watch the fight, see a couple of other fights. It was a good fight. Boots just showing the level, showing that he different, showing that he's on a higher end of just the boxing spectrum. So it was good to watch.
Yeah, that was a dope fight.
Man, Boots played us, bro. Like, I think them last 2 fights, man, I was like, wait, where Boots at, bro? Like, that wasn't the Boots that we know, man. It was like so he got everybody talking about, Boots could make this thing look fairly easy if he just do what he know how to do. But sometimes it seemed like Boots want to get in there and grind it out and grind it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
it be
man,
like that.
shout out to Boots, bro. He made that shit look easy work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your 100% knockout ratio, last time we had a Borequeño with 100% knockout ratio was Berlanga. I remember that. And there was
Yeah,
some hype behind it, man. You know what I mean? And shit, you've been killing them, bro, in the ring, bro. It's crazy.
yeah,
So,
definitely.
hopefully, man, that you can, continue that trend, man, and people start talking about you, man, everywhere, man. They already start. They're
For sure.
starting to. Yeah, they're starting to, bro. So.
Yeah. So how does it feel coming from Jersey? Like, have we touched on that at all? Fighting from you're from Newark, right?
Yeah, I'm from Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah. So
How does it feel? I mean, carry a certain type of pride with it, but at the same time, it's all I know. It's like anybody. I only know how I feel to come from Jersey. I can't express how it feels to come from somewhere else, but it's just a certain type of pride. You want to, well, at least for me, I like to represent where I'm from because it's like it's a part of like who I am. It's a part of who I am, my upbringing, um, my parents' upbringing, my family, my history. So it's definitely important that I, put on, be an example for the people, and just give my people in Jersey something positive to look forward to each and every time I go out there and fight.
Yeah.
You ever think about, the days where you might not be there specifically anymore, like moving out and maybe your life might be a little bit different. You might just be stopping through. You think about them days?
Oh yeah, that's definitely to come. That's also the goal. Just to elevate, to grow, to evolve. So that's definitely to come. But I feel like with me it's a little different because I really grew up in the city and like I was one of the kids where like any other kid. All we know is basketball. Like if you ask any kid from oh, what you want to do? They're like, I want to be a basketball player, football player, I want to do this. But they don't understand the other outlets that's out there that might be easier, more beneficial. So, I definitely want to help, because, we not as intelligent in those areas. We just know how to, sacrifice and like get it out the mud, so to say. So, um, I definitely just want to shed light on other avenues and just impact the younger generation and, the other people that's been working, working in, behind the scenes and just haven't been given the opportunity to shine.
I want to shout out the audience coming in. Shout out to Kui. Javi said yesterday was the first time I seen you box. You're solid, kid. So hey,
Appreciate that, Harvey.
and we got Ace in here, New Jersey. We got Raheem with Pro Say, man. Shout out to Pro Say and the
Yeah,
WBB.
shout out to Pro Say Pearl.
Yeah, everybody's proud of you, man. You're doing hella good, bro.
Thank you.
And it's cool, man, because I'm out here in the West, man. So you're starting to develop a name, man. Already in the East Coast, everybody knows who you are and what you're about, but the West is starting to take notice, man. So
Yeah, definitely appreciate that. Appreciate y'all for having me as well.
Where was the fight at?
Maryland.
Okay.
Hanover, Maryland. That's where the Pro Box card was at.
Maryland Live, right?
A live casino.
Yeah. It's
Did you
a
just head back home right after the event, or what? How
Oh
far
no,
is it?
no, no. We stayed. We stayed a little bit. Ate, watched the fights. Stayed the extra night. We came back this morning.
Oh, okay, nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. So let me ask you this. This is referring to like the future thoughts and future fights and things like that. Like in your mind, what would be like the ideal fight venue that you would fight in, and like how do you see yourself walking out in that particular venue? Like, can you get into that maybe?
Yeah. Definitely. I definitely want to fight. I love to stay local. Love to keep it rolling at the Prudential Center. That's where most of my fights been at. That's the biggest arena. That's been like with boxing so far. Definitely want to end up going to like MSG, Barclays, those arenas like in New York, just because that's like the stomping ground for big fights. So, just me coming out there, you know, the whole thing sold out, in front of all my people, that'd be a blessing. And then of course, go to like the West, MGM Grand, Staples Center, those arenas where, the other big fights happen where you see Andre Wars, Kovalev, Floyd Mayweather's, and just make my name big over there.
So I don't care what a fighter says. When you coming up, you got that one fighter that you looking at, and that's the guy that you want to fight. That's the guy that's going to catapult you and change your life. Do you see that person in your vision right now? Who is that guy that you feel like is the guy for you to change your life?
Me. That's it. I don't feel like if I'm being honest, if we being for real, the people that's up there right now within the next 2 3 years, they probably not gonna be there. So the person right now that he's like the top dog in the division is anyway, which he probably won't even like it'll be me contending for my first world title, and he'll be looking for like the mega fight. So those type of fights really wouldn't be likely to happen. It'll probably be somebody that's just like me coming up right now, still making a mark. But I don't really pay attention to those because it's like they might get knocked off too. They might. You never know. Boxing is a journey, and styles may fight. So if they not taking the right fights, developing the right way, then they boxing journey could be hindered and derailed. But the only person that I could really say is like talk about mega fight, life changing is anyway. He whether you win or lose, that's life changing money for the rest of your career where you can invest it in. You can live off that.
Nice.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. I'd never thought about it in that way. I always, me personally, maybe I'm out of line with my method of thinking, because I feel like if a person is 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 in the rankings, that they should be getting a shot at one of the 4 belts. You know what I'm saying? And we don't see a lot of that. We see a lot of people getting skipped over and things like that, and people buying their way into the rankings versus earning it the right way. So me personally, I always want to see the top face in the top. If you're a phenom and you can break ranks, get in the top 15, top 10, then you earned your way to getting the title shot, if you ask me. And so I'd like to see more of that.
I agree with you, but like it's like nowadays it's a little different. You see some people hold the title up. Like Charlo, he had the title for 3 years without even fighting.
Yeah.
In his weight. Like who gonna wait 3 years for a title? Like you know what I'm saying? Like waiting 3 years, you ain't gonna be able to pay your bills, provide, none of that. So it's just that's why I say like boxing is real unpredictable. Like however you think it might go, you gotta be open. You gotta be able to just adjust and make a lane for yourself.
Yeah. Man, that whole card was lit last night. I'm just thinking about that whole card because you had a highlight reel knockout. So did Big Shot Shaw had a fucking badass knockout too, and then so did Frankie Scarborough Jr. You three, man, just highlight reels, like just amazing performances, bro. Like the shit that boxing fans crave,
Yeah,
You
definitely.
guys delivered on Pro Box last night. That was a great card.
Bro, but man, Big Shaw, he must have had some holy water in them gloves. Like bro, he exercised the demon out my man 2 times.
Vicious. All three, bro. All 3 knockouts, man, were pretty vicious.
Bernie Mac said he was teasing me.
Yeah, you beat your opponent's ass hardcore, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to BM Boxing News.
Yeah,
He says you're a well-spoken young man. Salute to him. That's
thank
my
you. I
brother.
appreciate y'all. Appreciate that.
Shout out to Steve Falco. He's on Facebook. Shout out to the Facebook side. You guys follow Keith Tsunami Cologne. It's scrolling on the bottom. Official Keith Cologne on Instagram and Keith Cologne on Facebook.
Definitely.
Man, so what's this looking like for recovery time? Are you already back at it in the gym, or are you?
He only fought 2 minutes.
Hey, but look, bro, I understand. I gotta ask the question because we don't know.
You don't know how hard that camp is.
We don't know.
Nah, true. I mean, for me, it's a little different, because like how you said, can't be rough, and it like honestly speaking, it take like mentally, it take a lot. Like imagine you preparing a month or some change in advance for a fight, that happened on this day, and then it happened the next week. People don't really realize like how draining and sometimes you just be like, look, if it ain't happening, it ain't happening. We just gonna go. I'm not about to keep going to wait to see because it like it'll kill somebody. Not discourage them, but it'll just the energy won't be there. You won't have the same energy coming into the rain, the same type of anxiousness to deliver and put on a good performance. It's more so I'm just doing it to get it done. And you don't never want to go in there with that type of mindset. At the end of the day, it's a hurt business, and people die in the ring. But with that being said, it's just like we got another fight date coming up. Within a good period of time, so it's no really need to rush. Take some time off. Definitely got to recover, from the camp. I took more punishment in the camp than I did in the fight, so it's really not about the fight. It's more so about your body. You gotta think. I was on weight a week before. I made the weight, cut weight. I had to do it again. The body's not used to like those little things is happening back to back to back, plus fighting, then having so it's a lot that you just gotta. Your body's your temple. You got to recover because what you don't want to happen is when I fight like a month later or, July, for me not to be able to feel my best. It's like all you have to do is just listen to your body, trust the process, not be greedy, got a whole career ahead of myself. So, that's just what it is. My team doing a great job getting me to fight. So, that's not a problem. So, we're not rushing either.
Nice. I had, an opportunity to be in, John Ennis's camp for a couple days training myself. And one of the things I noticed was that their team is so close, so tight knit. Everybody that comes into the gym is like family and like that. Now I know you're not gonna say nothing different about your team, but can you explain to the fans how big of a family your team is and how important it is for you guys to be close?
Yeah, yeah, no, I feel like I got a great team. I feel as though everybody in my team, like the first priority is just making sure that I'm good. So, you know, I could be nothing but grateful for that. It's not like, oh, am I getting a check out of him or like what am I getting? It's like, nah, first thing first is he good? How you feeling? So, it's genuine love, genuine care there. So, I appreciate that. But I feel like, my team is just as any other team. I didn't jump in, like I didn't jump into like Freddie Roach camp, uh, um, what B&B boxing with Bud, and I'm like I didn't jump over there. So it's like, everybody that you see with me is somebody special to me, somebody that helped me, somebody that contributes to the camp and contribute to me. So I'm just grateful, everybody, all the coaches get along well. They got a great understanding. Um, no, and we're growing. The same team that I got now is the same team that I had since the amateurs. So it's it's just like it's regular for us.
And what
Yeah, I want
about
to let everybody know. On top of all this discipline for training for fights and everything, Keith also is a full time student. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
enrolled in college. So you're talking about juggling two things at once, man. You're doing a lot, man. You're doing great, man. You're working
definitely. I
hard, bro.
appreciate that
It's gonna pay off, man. That's it's all gonna pay off.
for sure.
I was going to ask you about your biological family. How is that support system?
It's great. My biological family. Family back home in Newark, Puerto Rico. It's nothing but love. Like I said, we there's not too many positive things that come out of the city. And if it do, it get overshadowed by the negativity, by a lot of negative drama, by a lot of negative praise. So I feel as though like I'm really giving my peoples something positive to look forward to, something positive to celebrate, something positive to brag about. It's different when certain things hit home. So it's like when they see me doing my thing, it's like, oh, like that's my son, that's my nephew, that's my cousin, that's the kid that I grew up with. Like I was just in school with him like last Friday. So it's like, giving the people, giving my people, that opportunity. They always show love and support me 110%. And they just want to see me do. They just want to see me do good because it kind of like it warmed their heart up to see that for somebody that they know, see that for somebody that they love, see that for somebody that they grew up with. So it's nothing but love, and I appreciate it.
Man, Tim, you hit on something with that, man. Just our last week we were talking to a guy and we talked about, the energy that was, added to the gym with Tierra Brown once she got her title, you know what I'm saying? And we was rooting for her and what it did to the environment in that gym. It's that pride thing. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we went out there and we beat the world, and the proof is right here behind us, man. Listen, man, I tell you, bro, I think you a superstar already. The city is
Appreciate
yours.
that.
City is yours, bro. People are already giving you that crown. I just, the way that you're carrying yourself, man, I'm proud of it. You don't know me personally, but I'm proud to see what you're doing, and you're definitely being a great example. So just for me, man,
I
yeah.
appreciate you.
What sets you apart from other fighters too, bro, is that like you really get out there. You're a real person, man.
Yeah,
You show love to a lot of people, man, and you let everybody get to know you, bro. So that's a plus,
definitely.
man. It's a big plus, especially in the boxing world, man. It's all about who you know and connections, man. So just
For
keep
sure.
networking and getting everything about the tsunami out there, bro. The tsunami takeover.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. You already know.
So before I peace out, I want to just give my observation of the Boots Ennis fight last night. Um, I think he did an excellent job. Um, he picked the guy apart and he boxed beautifully. I like the way that he controlled with the jab and did all that. Um, I think that he has to work on some type of defense where he's not relying solely on his reflexes. I would like to see him use a little bit more hand blocking, uh, catching a couple more shots because that kid did hit him with a couple of
Hit him
clean
a few
shots.
times. Yeah.
Um, and and Keith, you can't be perfect. You can't shoot 100%. So for uh, you know, a superstar, he did great. He fought another world champion and got hit a
Yeah.
couple of times.
Tough
But
opponent.
uh, if I had that one critique, it would just be to just don't take too many clean shots as he did. But other than that, I give him a solid A for his performance.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
Definitely.
he did exactly what he was supposed to do. And you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing him get a Terrence Crawford fight now.
Virgil.
And if he rises to the occasion and he wins, uh, is well deserved. If he loses, it's still a well deserved fight for him at this point.
For
So
sure.
that's where I'm at with the Boots in this fight. Unfortunately, Keith, I didn't get a chance to see yours. Um, but I'm pretty sure you in your 2 minutes kept your hands up.
Hey, I tagged you on Instagram, bro. You could check out his. I mean,
Check
it's a
it
quick
out.
fight, bro. Yeah, I
All
tagged you
right.
on Instagram.
Hey, y'all gotta let me do a little bit of pushback on this one, man, because
Go ahead.
I noticed the trend, and I'm not cool with the trend, right? Listen, every time you see somebody that got a little melanin in them and they getting ready to have a big fight, you always hear all these narratives like, oh, they gotta produce this, they gotta put on an excellent performance. I'm expecting a stoppage by round. So you hear these extra weighted comments that come from some of the commentary. That's foul, man. If you're going to say that about one fighter, you got to say it about the same other person, right? I've seen some Irish female boxers who they were saying a whole lot about. I'm not saying no names, but they were saying a whole lot about this person, and they don't get active like that, and they're basically a juggernaut. You know, they use their head for everything, and people are gassing them up. And you don't say, "Oh, her performance was whack." If the standard is, you know, Shakur got to not get hit more than once a round for 12 rounds, that's the standard. You got to call it like it is. So I hate that. I hate that they do that to our people, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. Like, it was very disappointing to hear, you know, what those people were saying about the fight while it was happening. I was trying to figure out what fight they were watching. Right, because Boots washed him, bro. That was a washing, and Stanionis is not a chump. He's no chump at all, and Boots just washed him. He's that good. So my last little part ran on it is Boots fights at 147 pounds. Until he announces that he's going to 154, people got to stop talking about the matches from then. If dude want to be undisputed, clean up 147.
Yeah, Brian Norman and Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios got the WBC.
Yeah, that part.
I mean, I agree with you, but also it's time to eat, man. You know what I mean?
It's time to eat. That shit takes time sometimes to go for undisputed. A lot of that shit, you seen it with Spence. That shit took him a minute, bro, going through everybody, man, trying to get up to Crawford, you know. And
so, I see both ways, you know. I see both ways. But Ernest, you the one that got to be the voice, man. You don't like it. You got a whole platform right now that you can be the opposite of what you don't like.
I'm saying something every time, bro.
You the one.
You got a professional boxer that's a commentator, and you got a dude who rides bicycles without the seat on them over speed bumps, and he's arguing with the boxer about what boxers do. Like, it's maddening, man. It's bad for the sport. It messes up what the casuals are trying to learn. Why can't it be like UFC where the announcers are actually talking about the strategies behind it versus saying somebody should be doing this and talking about the stuff they're doing outside of the sport? I'm not with it. That's all.
Hey, Keith, I wanted to ask you, man, what'd you eat, man? Did you treat yourself out to at least a good dinner after this hard work, bro?
Oh yeah. You know, it wasn't like I said, after the fight, we was at the for people that know where I was at, I was in Maryland, the Live Casino. So you know, we was going around looking for stuff. But, you know, like I said before, we wanted to go back and watch the fights at the venue.
Yeah.
At a Live Casino, the Boots fight, etc.
Yeah.
So, you know, we was trying to drive around but not go too far. Try to go to Golden Corral. It was packed. It was flooded. So we ended up going to like a little mall. They had a nice little restaurant. That was packed. Next best things was Johnny Rockets. So I went over there, got me a little Philly cheesesteak, and then went back to the venue.
Nice. All right. Hell yeah.
Hey guys, so I gotta bounce though.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna end it too. I have to eat, man. I haven't ate dinner yet either.
Keith, I appreciate you.
Get hungry. That's why I was asking Keith about the food.
Hey, I was smashing right before we got on. You feel me?
Good luck in the future. I'm gonna keep my eye out. I'm not gonna miss the next one.
Appreciate that.
Bro, we staying with Keith, man. Sixth fight, bro, coming up, bro. We'll be hyping it, and then we'll be talking to him after too, man. That's how it's gonna go.
For sure.
Yeah,
we'll grow with man.
Next week, bro.
And can you tell your fans and followers where they can follow you at, and tell them about your YouTube channel. Let me go to it, and I'll put the link in the channel or in the chat.
For sure. Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at official Keith Cologne, and like I say, you can follow me also on YouTube at Keith Cologne, Keith Tsunami Cologne. You know, I drop vlogs, fight vlogs. The last vlog that I dropped, you know, you'll see the whole breakdown of me training, then my fight falling through, and then me announcing, you know, my next fight. So if you know, that's for more behind the scenes, more the day in the life, more the day-to-day basis, how I train, the things that I do, my mindset. just me as a person. You know, you check that out on YouTube at Keith Cologne.
All right. I put the link in the chat.
Appreciate you, my guy.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's dope right there. Hey man, I know we're getting ready to roll out, but bro, have you ever thought about, like yesterday we had an opportunity to hear Shakur and Shushu, at ringside, talking about the fights and stuff like that. Has anybody reached out to you for any opportunities like that?
Nah, not yet. I'm sure, as I climb up in the boxing world, gain, more respect, uh, you know, more offers to come in that nature. But as of right now, not really, just been strictly fighting.
Okay. Hey, listen, bro. I don't want to ask the normal questions. I want to ask some stuff
For
outside
sure.
the box. That's all. Definitely appreciate. Like I said, man, we appreciate you coming on, and
Thank you.
definitely look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah.
What was that? Appreciate you.
Much love, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you, my guy.
Peace.